Hello friends, welcome back to my channel School of Data Analytics. Today I'll explain you about fundamental of cloud. So cloud is the new buzzword, right? Everybody is talking about cloud, be it Azure, AWS, Google Cloud Platform. So if you talk to anyone who is in IT, who wants to migrate to a different server architecture and all, everyone is talking about cloud. Some of the cloud provider, right? So most of the IT professional or who are new to the cloud, right? They want to learn cloud, but at the same time, few of the fundamental problems are there, and they don't know what exactly a cloud, why do they need, where to start, how to start, some of the key concept like what is a virtual server, what exactly app engine, what is IoT, big data, how to run a artificial intelligence model, what is vertex AI. So all these key concept, right, whenever they're hearing, they stopped learning from that day itself and just think that cloud is not cup of their tea. Just imagine why we need cloud. If you go back little 10 to 15 years back, right, cost of a laptop or a desktop of very simple configuration like 128 MB RAM and 20 GB hard disk was almost close to 1 lakh, whereas an average income of house was not even 3,000 at that point of time. I'm talking about India, so that's where the cost is. So my thing of saying this is right, like the computing cost and the hardware cost was quite high, and that's where cloud was not that popular. Over a period of time, the storage cost is extremely low, whereas we have high computing devices, and slowly cloud is picking up the pace. So now there are enormous data every day is getting generated, and data is the new currency. And right, like we need high computing devices, so that's where cloud is getting popular. And there was a recent survey, and almost 50% of the company in next 5 to 7 years they are moving into the cloud. So it's a very great opportunity if you folks learn cloud, the concept of the cloud. So in this video I will explain the fundamentals why we need cloud, and that's where, right, like it will help you guys to make sure and start the concept. And right, like you'll not afraid why I'm learning cloud and all. So let's begin. Fine. So basically we need cloud for computing and storage. Why do we need for computing? Just imagine you have your own infrastructure. When I say own infrastructure, you have a device, you have an existing RAM, hard disk and all, and you are running some software. So let's say your business grows, your requirement grows, and what happened, right, you need a high computing device. You can add one more server and do your work, but how feasible is that? Because data is enormous, day by day data size is increasing. So that's where you need something reliable and kind of, right, it can be highly scalable, highly flexible, and there should not be any location constraint for your data center and all. And at your own will you can either increase your server or decrease your server. So some kind of flexibility you need, and that's where this cloud concept is coming. Because here what happened, right, the computing is happening over internet. It's not like you are connecting to your own physical infrastructure. However, all the computing is happening over internet, and this is increasing, right, your let's say your IT infrastructure is increasing very rapidly, and you really can't forecast what would be your infrastructure in the next 6 months or 1 year. Same times, right, you have to think about your expenditure, maintaining a data center, maintaining a storage place, thinking about the security. When we say a lot of data, we need to focus on your data security itself. So the cost itself is enormous. So if we take a service of either in Azure or AWS or GCP, we can make sure that all this type of headache we as a startup or we as a small company don't have to take care. However, this is can be handled by the cloud provider. So in this if you go to the left side, I can see what is the benefit of the cloud computing, right? So backup and disaster recovery, you can do it. Higher security, reduce infrastructure cost, more flexible, highly scalable, no location constraint. So you are, see, let's say you are working out of India, so you may not have to have your data center within India. If you want, you can have it in America, you can have it in Australia. If you want, you can have it in India itself. So you really don't have to worry about your infrastructure, and you don't have to worry about your clients. They can log in over anywhere because the computing is happening over internet. Let's go to the next slide. So basically, when you talk about the cloud and when you talk about the service provider, they provide for three types of services, or in fact you can say four type of services. It can be on site, IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. What exactly on site? On site is nothing but your on premises, that is your own physical data server. So where you have to maintain everything. The service provider will provide only the server, but starting from the application to data to OS to virtualization till networking, you have to handle, right? That is, this is nothing but a private cloud. So it's your own cloud. Some people what will do, right? They have their own application, they have their own data, and they want to run, means the execution they want in their side, and some of the middleware, anything which connects is a middleware. Maybe if I can use IBM MQ for connecting to the different layer, for me IBM MQ is the middleware. It's a very versatile concept and a generic concept. So what cloud provide you is, right, virtualization. When I say virtualization, it's nothing but you really don't have to care about your own server. Cloud will maintain that. Cloud will maintain storage. Cloud can take care of your networking and virtualization. When I say PaaS, it's called platform as service. So now what you did is, right, you want cloud to be your platform. So you have to run your own application and you have to take care of your data, whereas other things handled by cloud. Now let's say software as service, which is nothing but SaaS. In this case, right, you have to focus only your core business, whereas you can directly pick and choose or plug in any kind of software. The classic example is Microsoft Outlook or Gmail, right? It's an application. It runs in cloud. It has its own connectivity, OS. It has own server, storage, networking, everything. So you, if you need to use that email utility, you really don't have to develop that. What you do is you just plug in. You use that uh, email utility and uh, plug into your core product. Fine. When I say core product, it's your own software. If you go by this slide, uh, same thing I have mentioned. Customer is always responsible for the information and data stored in cloud, because it is your own information, right? It's your own data. You can take the service provider, but right, data you need to take care of that. Similarly, you have to take care of who should connect to your cloud, be it via cell phones, via computers, via API and all. So cloud will give you flexibility. You really have to take care of that. That I will explain you in the next video, when we can create a virtualization, create our own server and run some application. Similarly, cloud provide, right, like identification management, where you need to authorize who are the people, who are the services in your organization who can access. What cloud provide you is a physical data center, physical network, physical host. Fine. Let's go to the next slide. So in this slide, I will explain you multiple model. There are four type of cloud model available: private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and multi-cloud. So what happens, right? Like private cloud is nothing but your kind of on-premises data center where everything is managed by the company, not by the cloud. They can just provide you the infrastructure, whereas end to end, right? You can maintain, which is nothing but this on-site. Whatever I am explaining here, all these things you need to maintain. So this is nothing but your private cloud. When you go to the public cloud, right? It is built, controlled, and maintained by a third-party cloud provider. In this case, if you take the cloud provider AWS or Azure or GCP, they will maintain. So anyone that wants to purchase cloud services can access and use resources. The general public availability is a key difference between public and private cloud. So hybrid cloud is something, right? A mix of private and public. Let's say you want few of your services to be, right, masked from the public, whereas some of the things you can provide public access. That's where you need hybrid cloud. For example, right, let's say you are working on a financial domain and you want to share some of your financial data for public use, so that you can provide an API to the public can access only that part. So that part, whatever you deployed in the cloud, considered to be public, whereas the part you want to mask will be considered to be private. So when you mix private and public cloud based on your need, that's called as hybrid cloud. What is multi-cloud? Let's say you really don't like Microsoft Outlook, however you like Gmail, but some of the Microsoft apps, for example, right, like Power Apps and all, you're using. So in that point, you are using Azure. Same times you want to use Gmail utility of Google Cloud. So you are using two service provider. That's where the multi-cloud concept comes into the picture, because we want the best to be picked, right? For our core product, I want XYZ from AWS, something from Azure, and something from Google Cloud. So where I pick and choose from multiple cloud, that's where my environment will be called as multi-cloud. So this is the final PPT of this video. So here I have whatever I explained, right? I just summarize in a pictorial method, so that, right, who owns what is the responsibility of the customer or the client, which means if I am taking, let's say, GCP cloud, then I am the customer and GCP is the cloud provider. Got it? So cloud provider always take care of physical host, physical network, physical data center, whereas customer always take care of information and data, because I'm generating the data, right? So I should be responsible for that. Similarly, since it's my product, I should take care who should connect to my devices, and since it's my product, I should give access to the accounts or identities. Got it? So this particular one, right, it's explain the basic difference between public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So public cloud, right, no capital expenditure to scale up, because it's very cheap. Public cloud is very cheap because everyone can access that. Application can quickly provision and deprovision. Organization pay only what they use. Organization don't have complete control over the resources and security, because all this option will get in default. Private cloud is organization completely controlled. Data is not correlated with other organization data. Hardware must be purchased for startup and maintenance. Hybrid cloud, right, provides the flexibility. So most important concept is hybrid cloud, because most of the provider, right, like, or most of the organization is moving to hybrid cloud. So whatever they can expose to public, they will go for that. Whatever they want right, to mask they can use for private. So with this I'm concluding this video and hope you like it. Please like and share to your friends. Next video I will explain you like how to use a cloud. Mostly I will take the example of GCP, where we can create a virtual machine and like create a new project, run some AI model, ML model and all, and we can do end to end. Also I will explain you right how the charges being charged by the provider, and right like what time you need to create a server, how to delete a server, because when you don't use it, it's always better to delete the server, otherwise it will be charged high. Okay, thanks all.